Mafia.
Boycott SodaStream.
Spotify.
Hey there, I'm Joanne Winslow Van Ness, and welcome back to Picture Time O'Clock, where we explore the latest trends, challenges, and opportunities in the world of crypto and finance. As always, your host, David Sutrin, will be serving up engaging conversations with industry leaders, innovative thinkers, and financial experts. In each episode, we dive into topics such as meme coins, NFTs, tokenization, leveraging the market for 100x trades, and of course, market strategy. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, Picture Time O'Clock provides the insights and tools you need to make financial decisions that will take your life and bank account from zero to crypto king status. Thanks for joining us once again. Before we get started with today's episode, I'd like to remind everyone to subscribe to the podcast and hit that follow button on all social platforms to keep up with the latest and greatest updates and whatever else might be cooking in the markets. Let's fire it up.
Bow down to the podcast mafia.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Not too much. How about you?
I am sort of, to be transparent, distressed today, but I wanted to do this anyway.
That's all right.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Not super distressed about anything, but we can just make an easy one. And yeah, I'm happy to talk about whatever. I like the episode that you sent me. I forget what the guy's name was, but
I think it was Matthew Golden.
That doesn't ring a bell, actually. This guy's like house burned down in a fire, and that's how he like got money.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, that might be right.
Yeah, I did 2 episodes with him. He was good.
Yeah, I like the general production and like checked out your website, and it's cool because I don't spend any time on the production. I like the preparing and the recording, and then afterwards I just kind of throw it out there. So, but I respect the, you've got these audio effects and stuff that's just, better. Like I'm pretty surprised how little production there is on like production value there is on like even the most popular podcasts in the world. They're just pretty basic.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever want to kick it up a notch, I do podcast production like as a job, so that's kind of where it comes from.
Right.
But yeah.
Cool.
Are you in need of podcast production? No, you're not? Well, do you know someone who is? Okay. Take it easy. Maybe you're thinking of starting a podcast. Have you ever had thoughts like that? Yeah, that's right. We've all thought about it. But where the heck do I start is probably a question you've asked yourself if you answered yes to the last question. Fortunately, with the advancement of technology, robot computers have discovered a definitive answer to that question. The question... I'll remind you of what it was just 1 second. The question is, I want to start a podcast, but where the heck do I start? The answer? Email David at davidsutrinagmail.com or head over to www.davidsutrin.com, fill out the contact form, prove you're human by solving a CAPTCHA, and then send David an email about all those ideas for a podcast you have. David responds to everyone, and he always has the answers. Even if you just want to send him a message about non-podcast related stuff, or call him on the phone or something, you can do that too. He's available to talk. He's up early and goes to sleep late, so any time works. His phone number is on his website too. If you click the download CV button, you can find his phone number and call or text him. Doesn't even have to be about podcasts, honestly. just call him. Or fill out that contact form I was talking about. That's www.davidsutrin.com for all your podcast needs. From editing, mixing, music-making magic, mastering, distribution on all platforms, including the most popular ones like Spotify and Apple. Fuck it, he can do video podcasts too. What are you waiting for?
How'd you get into podcasting in the first place? Just to like get your like brand name out there more?
Not really that. I would say I got into listening to podcasts pretty late. Like not late, but I don't know, 2019, 2020, something like that. And like right around the time I started listening to them, I had intrigue even before I started listening to them of making one. It just sounded like it seemed like a really good way to talk to interesting people. And so I pretty much started it. I wasn't working at the time. I was doing a lot of writing, and then I reached out to a couple of guys I was interested in talking to in the longevity space, and I basically invited them on a podcast that I didn't yet have. And then, one of them said yes. So I was like, okay, I guess I have a podcast now. And then I recorded the first episode with like AirPods, and it's been steady since then.
Yeah, the thing I've noticed is like surprisingly 90% of the time people say yes, even when you think they're like above the level of saying yes. Like people love to be asked, I find.
Yeah. Well, it's a leveraged use of time. It's like not like being asked for a one-on-one conversation that just stays between you and like nothing comes from it. It's like that, which people generally I think would like to be generous in doing, but it feels like it's that, but it's not just for the benefit of the person on the other side. It's like intended to be a piece of content that lives forever that a bunch of people could potentially listen to. Even if the podcaster doesn't have a big audience, you might have a big audience that you can share it with if you want. If it doesn't go so well, it's an hour, like, so it doesn't really matter. I know I personally, like, obviously I do them as a host, but I love going on as a guest because I do like a lot of prep when I'm the host, and as a guest, I can just show up and like, it tends to be interesting. I did one recently that, I don't know if I should say this, but I guess you won't know which one it was, but I did one recently that was like pretty darn uninteresting. So I was like, okay, I need to actually have a little bit of a filter for these things, but I've probably done like 10, and like 8 or 9 out of 10, or basically all but one that I've done so far have been enjoyable. So
yeah, they're usually good. I've had a few as well that are like not that great, and then like a few where I simply just like canceled them altogether because I was like, this guy is not good or is like rude or something.
Yeah, with my own podcast, it's even a higher hit rate. It's like I'm releasing episode 175 tomorrow, and I can really recall like 2 that I like didn't enjoy. So like obviously super high hit rate. And like I canceled. One other one comes to mind that I canceled because in doing diligence, I was like, it was like an ethical thing. I was like, I don't really want to promote this guy. I didn't know about what I found in diligence until after the fact. So, and it wasn't like, I'm not like super PC or woke or anything like that, but it was just something that I was like, oh, that's like not that cool. So
when did you start yours?
Summer 2020.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I'm like, this will be, I think, episode 39 or 40, but I've been doing this since like 2017, just kind of wild. But I'm very inconsistent with it, which I'm kind of okay with. I like that it's like, I kind of do it when I am feeling it, and that's it. But I feel like if I was more strict about it, I could probably like get an actual bigger audience, which would be nice. But I don't know. I feel like to get to the point where you're actually like monetizing is like a huge jump. So
yeah, I think the consistent cadence, obviously it would seem that it would be helpful, but it's definitely not automatic. I've had a pretty consistent cadence for 3+ years, and the audience, I just did a tweet today that like, it's kind of ridiculous to me how like I got less listens in the first week on my latest episode than I did 3 years ago. Yeah. And like, I've been consistent, and I've had like great guests, and everyone who listens, like, I've only really heard positive feedback. Like no one's like, oh, like this kind of sucks, dude, or like whatever. Like everyone tells me really good things. And then also the quality of the people who listen is like continuously shocking to me. Like if going in, I would have been, if you told me where I was now in terms of both quality of the audience and quantity, I would have said no. Like I think, especially after the first couple months, seeing some early traction, I would have said, nah, it's going to be bigger by that point. But I would have been surprised by the average level of quality of the people who listen. And maybe that comes hand in hand. It's probably the higher quality, or the higher quantity, the quality probably like drops off and you start to get some more like, for lack of a better word, like NPC types who are just like big, consumers. Versus like a lot of people who listen to mine are actually like out there kind of like doing stuff.
True. Usually I have each guest give themselves a short introduction as to who they are, what they do, etc., or however you want to describe yourself.
Yeah, so I'll keep it pretty short, and you can ask any follow-ups or whatever if you want. But grew up in the Northeast and went to college. I was really into sports growing up, and also pretty like entrepreneurial. When I realized I wasn't going to sports wasn't going to go anywhere long term, I really like dug in on the sort of business side of things. Went to school for that. Really had a terrible freshman year for a number of reasons. Decided I wanted to transfer and apply to a bunch of schools. Nothing was super exciting. So ended up taking a gap year to try to start a business based on this idea that I had. And the business didn't, amount to anything, but the year was actually like super transformative for me. Like my life, I view as kind of like a before and after that year. And then got into a better school as a result of that. And a school that had previously rejected me. I think it was just like writing about this experience a little bit or whatever. Same grades, same SATs and everything. I got in and really loved that school. Went there for 3 years and graduated, got to study abroad in Italy and do a bunch of great stuff. And ended up starting my career in investment banking out in San Francisco for a year and a half or so. And then New York for another year, all with the same company, with the same group, just different geography. And I was doing technology mergers and acquisitions, doing the classic kind of banking grind.
Okay.
Quit after 2 years without knowing what was next. Traveled for a little bit. COVID hit. Realized, probably not the best time to look for a job. Also moved home, so I didn't really have any burn, and in terms of finances, and so kind of put the brakes on like trying to find my next thing, and just started writing a lot and running a lot. I ended up writing blog posts every day or every weekday for like 6 months or something like that. Started the podcast soon after that, and that's really when I just started like plugging into like the internet in kind of a more serious way than I had previously, in terms of like just obviously everyone's on the internet, but I wasn't really like on Twitter, like doing stuff, producing content or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I started all of that. And then my 30-second podcast guest was this guy, Balaji Srinivasan, who's big in sort of the tech world, crypto world. And he was just super interested. We had a great conversation. I started sort of volunteering and ultimately worked as his chief of staff and sort of managing his angel investing for a couple of years. And then again, for a number of reasons, kind of decided to part ways and kind of jumped into the unknown again. And now I'm about a year into that and have done some things in the last year as well. But that's kind of the reasonably short version of the story.
So were you always like, when you were doing the investment banking, were you into the crypto stuff then, or did that all come after?
Mostly in a serious way, it came after, but I was aware of it. I think I was first exposed to it. Actually, I was studying abroad in Italy in 2016 and did a presentation on Bitcoin in like this finance class. But obviously, like when I'm abroad, like, studying wasn't necessarily my first priority. Classes were kind of a joke. And I don't know how, I don't even remember, but somehow my presentation partner and I kind of stumbled upon doing this presentation on Bitcoin, but we didn't really get it. And I didn't invest or anything like that. And then about a year later in banking, around the sort of like early parts of the hype cycle in 2017, when it went from like a few thousand to 20,000 or whatever, at some point I got wind of it from a coworker and was like, okay, I don't really get this, but like internet money, that makes sense. And like it's increasing in popularity. Yeah. That seems poised to continue. I don't see any reason like why it wouldn't. And obviously it's like a risky thing, but like, sure, I'll put a little bit of money into it. And like really just a very little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of rode it all the way up and probably bought some more on the way up and rode it all the way down. And I think I came out of that cycle kind of like net even. And then it was in 2019 when I quit banking and I just had the time to sort of like explore my interests. I got really into crypto. I got really into longevity and, some other things. And that was when I decided like, okay, this is super interesting. I'm going to like really get involved and, sort of align myself financially with my conviction in this thing and also align myself in terms of just the time I spend and, learning about it and talking with people in the space and everything like that. And now I'm actually sort of building something really for the first time in crypto that I'm excited to, get out there in the next few weeks or something like that. So it's been a fun ride, but I'm definitely in it now.
Can you share any details on what you're building or no?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. It's probably, I think that's fine. It's basically, are you familiar with NFT projects in general, like the profile picture things?
Yes.
So there's like Bored Apes and Pudgy Penguins or whatever for listeners. I don't know if they're familiar.
Miladies.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you're pretty familiar. So basically, it's going to be it's the easiest way to explain it is like it's like an NFT PFP collection, but it's significantly different in that typically those collections have around 10,000 pieces. This collection has 216 pieces, so just over 16 million.
Okay.
And that's not just like some super random arbitrary number. It's actually the number of colors that are on the web according to the hexadecimal color code system.
Okay.
So if you've ever seen like hex codes, I don't know if you're familiar. Yeah, so it's like FFF is white and like 000.
Hex codes are hexadecimal color representations used in digital design. They commence with a hash, followed by 6 alphanumeric characters, indicating the intensity of red, green, and blue components. For instance, hash FF0000 denotes maximum red intensity.
The other thing I was going to say is interesting because I'm pseudonymous as well with like everything I've done on the internet. My real name is Jake, but if you don't share, there's a million Jakes in the world, so I don't share my last name and I don't have a picture of my face or whatever, so it's effectively pseudonymous. But the thing is, like, if you build, I've built everything I've done on the internet, all this, this reputation or whatever I've done, the followers, whatever, from, the last few years, 4 years, whatever, under this profile. And so it doesn't really, like, at that point, it doesn't, like, pseudonyms get kind of a bad rep for, like, if you don't do something under your real name, you can, maybe do a rug pull or like stuff like that. You can scam.
Yeah.
But I have as much reputation on the line for this, identity that I've built on the internet as I would if it was my real name and my real face. Or about as much. I guess theoretically I could start a new one, whereas you can't really start a new face or a legal name. But trust me, like I don't want to lose what I've built, basically. So
did you have to like when you were working in investment banking and all that, like I assumed you had a LinkedIn with your real name and all that at that point?
Yeah, at that point though, I was pretty minimal. Like I did have a LinkedIn and I had an Instagram, but it was like high school friends and whatever.
What I was wondering is like if you had to like go back and like basically like delete every like aspect of your real identity on the internet at a certain point.
Well, I didn't have to, in the sense that I don't have, you don't know my last name, you don't know what I look like. So even if that was there under the name Jake Brown or whatever, which interestingly, Jake Brown, you could actually share your full name and still be pseudonymous because there's so many Jake Browns. But if it was Jake something more specific and you knew that, then you could look it up. But if you don't know that, you don't even know what to look up. Having said that, I did go and scrub it in case people find out. I just thought that was like a nice thing as well. And it's like, not like I have anything to hide necessarily. I like it for a variety of reasons, the privacy of it all.
Yeah.
And so I have scrubbed to the maximum extent that I could everything, my internet presence under my legal name. Mm-hmm. But it's surprisingly difficult, even if you don't have anything that you've intentionally sort of like created or uploaded. All these like sites like find information about you. Like, for example, like there's these sites that like, I don't know if it's like ZipRecruiter or whatever, like sites like that like have my resume somehow.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of not great. And I think there's a website called like Delete Me. Like there's services that try to help with this stuff. I did it kind of manually, and I was
think
like,
that's the way to go.
It was pretty effective. Like if you search my real name, you wouldn't find anything interesting.
I think I'm personally like, I was saying this to someone the other day, but like I'm in so deep with my real identity online that like I would never even attempt to try to scrub myself, because I've signed up on like 1,000 websites at this point, probably. And like, I don't know, actually like going through that process, but there's no way I would ever trust that I actually got everything, which is kind of a problem in my head at this point. I'm like, I wish I had a little more secrecy going on.
Well, I think you could probably do an 80-20, where 20% of the stuff that's out there, and it might be more like 97-3 or like 90-10. Where like, let's say 5%, let's say it's 95-5, 5% of the stuff that's out there on the internet for a Google search of you is actually sort of like revealing of some private things. Whereas 95% is just like, okay, you have a profile on this site. Like, who cares? You know, like you're not trying to show the world that, or like make the world think that you with your full legal name, like don't exist or anything. You're just trying to protect like images of yourself and your family, or like, you know, private personal details. And you could probably do that, I would think.
I kind of had this like half-baked idea recently of like, I guess I wasn't specifically thinking about it as NFTs, but like, would you mind if I ran it by you and you could tell me if it could be possible or not?
Yeah, go for it.
So it's like, do you know that episode of The Simpsons where Bart sells his soul to Milhouse?
I don't, but
okay. So basically, he writes down like Bart's soul on a piece of paper, gives it to Milhouse, and then Milhouse owns his soul and trades it for like, I can't remember, candy or something. And then anyway, like Bart like goes through like feeling empty and does everything to get his soul back. That part's not that important, but like, does an NFT project do all the actual like tokens or NFTs themselves have to be created by the creator of the entire thing? Or can it be a type of thing where like whoever signs up creates one, and the idea would be like, I sign up and then I make an NFT that is my soul, digital version of my soul, and then that's the NFT, and then whoever wants to make an NFT of their soul can do that. Would that make sense?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I mean, I'll give you like the analogous thing in my project. So you can, so there's these 16 million plus colors, and you go to the website and you can mint one for like currently $4, like 0.001.
And
Ethereum.
Minting is essentially just buying.
Well, so that's the thing. Minting is actually, I've been tempted to actually make the terminology on the website buying, because I really want this to be something that I think it's fundamental enough and simple enough that it can appeal to a larger group of people than just crypto people.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter if the functionality is too complex for non-crypto people.
Yeah.
So I'm really working hard, and I think it's not just, I got kind of lucky. Coinbase is coming out with this thing called a smart wallet, which is extremely user-friendly. It's sort of like a next generation advance in crypto wallets from my perspective in terms of ease and usability.
I'm going to look that up, because I use Coinbase wallet as of recently, and I like the interface. I hate it compared to Phantom.
Yeah, well, so this isn't out yet. It's supposed to be out in the next like few weeks, but it's on testnet. So it's not on mainnet, but it's on testnet. So I've been using it on testnet with our app. And so I'm trying to make it really user-friendly, basically. And I'm also using this company called Crossmint, where you can use that to pay with credit card. So you can actually create a wallet super easily with this smart wallet, and then use Crossmint to pay with credit card and mint the NFT to your newly created Coinbase smart wallet. So like without either of those things or competitors of equal, like quality, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. But given those, I think I'm not aware of other projects combining those things. Obviously, Coinbase Smart Wallet's very new, but I'm not really aware of a of a process for minting an NFT that is quite so user friendly for like a mainstream person.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like I've been like well, I started off vaguely interested in just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then it's like really grown over the years, but I've never quite like taken the time to really research and understand what it is that like I'm doing. But I've got all sorts of wallets and like altcoins in different places, and it's like it's become a disaster actually. I've probably like I'm around broken even, I think, and maybe I've made a bit of money because I've got lucky a few times. But like the whole wallet thing is like out of control. Like when I go to these weird websites now that I keep discovering, it's like Wallet Connect, and then there's like 70 options, and they're all kind of like appealing to me for whatever reason. They all look good on the surface, but do you have like a one that you like would recommend?
I have a few, like, I mean, I have Coinbase Wallet, I have MetaMask, I have Phantom, and I have Rainbow.
Rainbow I've never heard of. I have the other ones, but yeah.
Yeah, Rainbow's pretty good. It might be the best of those three, but I think Coinbase Smart Wallet's probably going to be better.
Do you use a hard wallet also?
Yeah, well, so that's the thing. These, all those things, like if they got hacked, I would be fine. I mean, I'd be a little upset. I would be very upset actually, because one of them has like, you know, my ENS name and stuff like that. But, and I have some NFTs or whatever, but there's nothing of serious value on any of those. My serious value, I've been extremely intentional. Like, I don't really want to talk about it because it's just security stuff, but like, 90% of all of my crypto value that I own is Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay, and, that's good.
Yeah, and that's, you know, all really secured. And so, and I think that's worth, I think that at this point, for something like Bitcoin in particular, I'm overweight on Bitcoin versus Ethereum as well. I'm roughly market cap allocated. So Bitcoin's worth around 3 times as much as Ethereum in terms of its market cap. And I have about 3 times as much US dollars in Bitcoin as I do Ethereum. Yeah. So if they became equal value, I would have, in terms of their market cap, I would have equal amounts of both in terms of dollars. And that seems like a sound approach to me. I know another very popular one obviously is like going 50-50 between the two. But to me, that is like implicitly expressing confidence in Ethereum more so than Bitcoin. I've yet to find someone who can tell me like why that's a better approach, even though I think it makes sense that it's a more popular approach because it's more simple. I don't really get it, why someone would do that. So unless they are more confident in Ethereum, then it makes total sense. But anyway, all the other stuff, I find it really useful. Like I have, you know, relatively big bets in terms of like my money on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but everything else I just kind of play around.
Yeah. See, I'm like, I initially was like 90% Ethereum, and then I had a bit of Bitcoin, and then I had a bit of Solana, like for years and years. And then something happened in the last year where I like lost my mind a bit. I like to gamble. I don't have an addiction or anything, but like it became like a fun game to me. I really liked the way like the websites operated, and then I got into like the like Solana world and like trading stuff on Jupiter, and I lost some money with like, all those things. It's just like you see people on Twitter, they're making like 100x like overnight. Like it's just very tempting, but at the end of the day, crypto as an industry, from my perspective, remains quite risky, and Bitcoin is by far the least risky, and Ethereum is by far the second least risky. And they both still offer potential that is much greater than like the S&P 500 or something like that. Okay, so, I got one more crypto question, and then we got to get to this photo, I guess. You said hard stop at 410?
415.
Okay. Just because I'm a very novice, and I don't know about this stuff, but I like to ask this to people that are into it. But like, I told you I bought some degen and kind of got into Base recently via Warpcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm building. I'm building on Base. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Base seems like, I actually don't really know what is appealing about it to people. It seems like low fee or something. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But if I was gonna put like $1,000 in something, like what's the first thing that comes to mind? And I'm just gonna do it. So just tell me.
Yeah. With like the disclaimer
Like,
of non-investment advice. Yeah.
Besides Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever.
I mean, so I would have said one of those, but then, you know, besides those, I would say Solana. I don't have like really like a super cute, like, you know, 100x recommendation that I feel super strongly about.
Yeah.
I guess I'll tell you, if I think about it, the meme coins are kind of interesting. And if you think of the meme coins, it's like, well, Dogecoin was the original. So as like silly as it seems, it may end up being huge. You know, it's the biggest, and like, you know, it's hard to have more conviction in a given category in an asset that is not already in first place. Like that asset that's in first place sort of by default has the best chance of continuing to be in first place.
Right.
So like something like Dogecoin, but then further down the stack, I think there's like Shiba Inu on Ethereum, and then there's Dog with Hat on
I've
on
seen
Solana.
that one.
So that's that's like a decently interesting bucket, I think.
Do you know about that Moog coin or Mog coin or whatever?
I've heard of it, but I don't know too much about it. And then the other one I'll just bring up is you mentioned DGen. I think DGen's like really interesting. I had the founder on my podcast.
That episode, hearing that guy, I really like. He seemed like a really like real dude, and that made me put money into it immediately, because I was like, because that's really what it is. Kind of comes down to. It's like when there's a guy who's a real guy who's running this thing, there's like way more chance that it's gonna have some level of success rather than like someone who you cannot find any information about them online, and like you join the Discord and it's like a post once every month and a half or whatever. But yeah, anyway, I'm into the DGen thing. I think it's interesting. But Warpcast, I like can't like, I signed up and I like paid $5 or whatever to use the app, but like I've been like a Twitter user like for my entire life essentially, but I cannot figure out how to like post on there in the way that the people that post on there post, which is fine.
I mean, so what I was like, I think my Farcaster ID is like 1020, so 1020th person on there. So like it's been a couple years, and the way I started, and really like this is kind of my default mode, is that I just cross post everything, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I started doing that. I tweet. Recently using this thing called yup dot something.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I do manual, just whatever, for whatever reason, it's fine.
Like you copy and paste.
Yeah, and like if I forget to do it for a while, then I'll just sort of like batch the last few. And if I forget to do it entirely, then that's fine. It's like, it's not a big deal. It doesn't like stress me out, but in general, it's like a good way to get on base. And then after, having done that for like a year and a half, things just naturally start to come to mind where, for example, if I have something that's like pretty crypto specific, I might post it on Warpcast, but not on Twitter. And then likewise, there might be something that's like sort of appropriate for Twitter, but not Warpcast. So
Base is relatively new. Is that right?
Yeah, Base is like, I don't know, 9 months old, something like
that. Okay. Let's do the photo.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. You got it ready?
I've got it in my head.
In your head? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have it in front of you? It's okay.
Well, if you remember what I was gonna do, it's a pretty simple.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Photo.
Okay, so let's do it. Describe.
So the photo that I'm looking at is it's a white background, and there's a big blue dot on it.
And this is a square aspect ratio.
Yeah.
And the blue dot is touching each edge, or it's
there's
centered?
A thin margin.
How thin?
Maybe roughly like 4% of the total width on both sides.
And then well, off the bat, I'll ask if you know the exact hex code of this blue.
Yeah, it's hashtag 0000FF.
Check out the link to this color in the episode description.
0000FF hex. I'm just Googling it. I want to see. Is this your favorite color? Oh, fuck. That's a nice blue, though, eh?
To me, in my view, it's a special blue because it is like the blue. And it's fundamental as sort of like determined by the hex itself. Which is something that I actually didn't even know originally. This was years before I started this colors, project. But and that's why I think the colors project's like super on brand for me. It feels like really good. Feels like right for me to be working on it. I just think it's really like fundamentally interesting. But white is FFF, and black is 000000. So this is like this. There's no funny business in this hex code. Like I think it's the most fundamental color that there is, besides black and white. And then the only other argument would probably be for pure red, which is FF0000.
So this is like pure blue. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Which is like a known thing.
I don't know how many people know that, but I think as per
designers.
Code, yeah.
Do you know about I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's like a fuck me. I'm gonna have to edit here, but I'm gonna have to think really fast too. It's like a sort of a fashion thing where it's a blue. It looks exactly like this blue. I think it might be the same one. Oh man, it's kind of like a fashion thing. Yeah, it's like a certain designer used this blue and it became like a very big thing. I almost want to say it was like a 90s thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but I would love to know if you I'm
trying to look through my photos now because I used to have it because somebody like one of my friends like pulled out their iPhone once and they had a blue background that looked just like that. And I was like, damn, that looks amazing. What is that blue? And he was like, oh, it's like
Klein Blue is the name.
But then it was like it had to do with like a fashion brand that like exclusively used this blue. And then it became sort of a thing in like that world. I'm still like really desperately searching for it on my thingy, but I don't think I'm gonna have to put it in after the fact. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a nice blue.
Klein Blue.
It's time now for another short break from this episode of Picture Time O'Clock. Hang in there, because David and Jake will be back shortly to talk more about Blue. If you've been enjoying this episode so far, then why don't you show some support for the podcast? Is that too much to ask? I don't think it is, personally. It would only take a minute of your time to go and give 5 stars to the podcast on Apple or Spotify. Do that. While you're at, you might want to do something else nice for someone in your life for a change. When is the last time you got someone a gift for no reason? Think about it and think about your close friends and how much it might mean to them if you were to go out of your way to buy them something as simple as a bracelet or just a funny fridge magnet. If you believe karma, then if you do that sort of thing, in turn, a good thing will happen to you, but don't expect it to be immediate or anything. It could be years later, but eventually, something good will come your as well if you do a good deed. That's the basic idea of karma that I'm talking about. Karma is ancient shit, so, I mean, it wouldn't even be talked about at this point if it wasn't at least somewhat legit. Right? I don't believe in it, but I do believe in a higher power. Not like God. Like God is a guy up in there in heaven kind of thing, but I think you all know what I mean. So, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating for this podcast. And while you're at it, you might want to do something else nice for someone in your life for a change. When is the last time you got someone a gift for no reason?
Is blue your favorite color?
Yeah.
When did you discover this blue?
When I was starting my internet sort of presence with like the blog, it was really, the order of it was like the blog and then a Twitter and then the podcast. And when I was starting the blog as the first thing, I was like, making the website and wanted like a logo of some sort. And I wanted to do something that I could like make myself, keep it pretty like simple and like fundamental. I just kind of like those things. It's like, if you have some logo with just like a bunch of stuff on it, to me, it's like much better if like everything is kind of there for a reason and everything was like an explicit choice versus, and more important, like even more so, like not only a choice, but a choice that kind of like makes sense, not just like an arbitrary choice.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was actually thinking recently, like if I was to become one of the people who have like a solid color as their profile picture on wherever, like what I would choose. It's kind of an impossible decision, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, for me, I would go, it would be black or white or blue. I personally don't really like the color red very much, so I wouldn't go for that, even though it's like pretty fundamental. So it's like, it would really be one of those three for me, black, white, or blue.
Okay.
And,
the thing I was talking about, sorry, really quick, is called Klein Blue. It's Eve Klein in collaboration with Edward Adam, a Parisian art paint supplier whose shop, this is too long to read, but essentially it's a art thing more than a fashion thing, actually. And it looks, I'm going to send you the link really quick.
Klein Blue is the name.
But sorry, go on. I cut you off there.
Yeah, I don't know what I was going with, but basically I like the fundamental nature of like black, white, or blue, and this fundamental blue. And when I chose it originally, like I said, like I wasn't really familiar with like, at least I don't think I was familiar with like hex codes and stuff really.
Yeah.
But I just knew that like this was like the blue. Like I forget what I searched or like whatever to find it, but I was like, this isn't just like a random blue. This is the blue. And that's the one that I want to use.
I recently, like, I kind of changed my desktop background color a lot. It's always a solid color pretty much. And I recently found one that I really, really like. Would you like to know the hex color of it?
Yeah. And then you can buy it for my project.
Oh yeah, I will actually. Well, how much will each of these cost?
$5 or $4 actually.
And then like what the idea is like
priced in ETH, so it's 0.001 ETH, which is like roughly $4.
Could I do it? I can't do it with base ETH though, or whatever?
You can, or that's the default payment method, or with crypto, or else you can do it with credit card.
Oh, okay.
And then the thing that I was going to mention earlier with your soul idea is so the fundamental thing with the project is like you can mint the color, and the difference between minting and buying is buying sort of implies that you're buying something that already exists from my perspective. Whereas minting, you're actually creating the thing. So you're paying to create, like there's this NFT collection that's going to exist. Like the contract is there to make it exist. Yeah. But the users have to actually decide this color is now in play and it's mine.
Yeah.
So you would go and you would mint and you would get your color. And then secondarily, the owner of the NFT has the exclusive ability to name the color. Yeah. And there will be no duplicate names. So if you were to mint, let's say like a shade of purple that you really like, and then call it purple, no one else can call their purple or any other color for that matter purple. Right. And so there could be, from my perspective, value obviously like values in the eye of the beholder.
If you make like blue first, then like that'll be worth more than like the 50,000th named blue or whatever.
Well, there won't be a 50,000th named blue. There's
no,
only
but
one.
I mean, like it'll be like the 50,000th one that's now called like Blue 75 or whatever you might call it.
Yeah, or like sky blue might be more valuable than like Jake's favorite blue or something.
It would act
roughly like domain names.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but then separately, there may be value attributed to the colors themselves. Where like if you get Coca-Cola red, regardless of what you name it, it's like that's Coke red. I'm gonna try to go get Klein Blue as soon as I can.
Klein Blue.
Well, if that's my blue,
no, yours is a little different. I think Klein Blue is like the slightest bit darker or something.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I'm looking at it. The hex is 002FA7, so you can have that one.
And then I'm gonna call it Klein Blue, and like, there's someone at some point is gonna be like, I don't even know how to sell these things though. Like, people will like, you got to list them or something.
People can, without you listing them, bid on them on OpenSea.
But you got to have an OpenSea account.
No. it's going to be on OpenSea just by virtue of you minting it, and your wallet will be listed as the owner. And to receive that bid, or like to take them up on the bid, you would have to go onto OpenSea with that wallet and connect your wallet. But
I see.
The offers can accrue without you having to do anything.
I see. I did something else kind of that I thought was, well, I couldn't think of, this is the best one I could think of, but do you know about Lens protocol?
Yeah.
So I made a profile on there, and then I was trying to decide on a handle, and I figured like there'd be a decent amount of handles that would be, well, I don't even know if you can like sell these handles or as NFTs or whatever. I'm assuming you can't, but
you can.
You can.
You can with Lens. I know, like, because I signed up for Lens, and then for whatever reason with that one, maybe I had to put my email in signing up or something, but I was getting emails of people bidding on my Lens account, which was kind of weird. So
what's your handle? Can you say?
I don't remember what it was. I think it was the same as my Twitter, which is like 0FJake.
Okay. Well, why would someone want to buy that though?
I don't know. It must have been a bot buyer who like, sort of was doing the algorithm.
And you were able to see that on OpenSea?
No, that was like, I was getting emails for it for whatever reason. I might have put my email as part of the sign up flow for Lens.
Well, I got at Grimes on Lens, and then I put a picture of Grimes and then filled a little bio as if it was Grimes. So I figured like maybe at some point somebody that likes Grimes enough would like give me a couple of bucks for that, but probably not. But you never know.
Yeah, I mean the classic squatting thing. I for me, like, you know, I don't know why anyone would want my name. The only person who would want my name would be probably me. So I'm not sure why the bots are trying to bid on it or whatever, but
yeah,
it's fine.
Well, you should take them up on it. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, well, if I end up using Lens, I would like the name.
But I was gonna say I still have it up here. My gray that I like, which maybe I'll buy when your thing goes live, is the hex color number is 19191 or 1919199. 191919. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. So that sounds pretty cool. It's like, you know, you got the 19s repeating themselves.
Yeah.
I was looking recently, and like there are a few grays considered to be like sort of fundamental, and there's like a few different ways that you can, like, anyone can make whatever assessment they want of like what colors are valuable, but there's a couple of like collections of internet colors that I'm familiar with that could suggest that they're like more fundamental or something. And I don't think that was one of them, but it sounds like, you know, anything with like, from my perspective, honestly, like anything with repeating numbers like that, 191919 or any version of that is like by default, on average, one of those to me would be more valuable than one that's not repeating like that.
This gray like really rules to me for some reason. I don't know. I like gray in general, but like when I first like popped this onto the desktop background, I was like, this is it. And then for whatever reason during the time, I was like really into this thing where I was like creating shortcuts on my iPhone where I was downloading PNGs of like app icons that I already had, and then like filling in the background with 191919 and then making them so transparent. And I was like spending mornings doing that shit. And then eventually I was like stared at my phone one day and I was like, fuck this, and deleted them all. But
yeah, I mean, I think I don't have like any real reasons for it or anything, but I just generally think like it would be cool if everyone could have a color and every color had a name. And it wasn't feasible for like a centralized institution to name all the colors, but it's possible for AI to do that, and it's possible for a decentralized group of people to do that. And so we're going to auto name the colors upon minting by an LLM, and then people will have the ability to make them a human name. Again, they'll all be unique. Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a name for the project to be revealed?
Yeah, it's going to be called Base Colors.
Sweet, yeah. Keep base in there.
Yeah, I like it.
I was gonna say, since I don't want to keep you if you got to go, but if you are so inclined to, like, if you like have any other like things you would like to share about the photo after the fact of this and wanted to do like a voice note and send it to me, I could clip it in, or like any other little tidbits about like something interesting. I mean, I know you have a podcast called Pod of Jake, which people can check out, and I suggest they do, because it's pretty cool. It's on YouTube, and then you got these like character animations, so it's kind of like fun to watch. More so fun, in my opinion, than watching real people, because like that has gotten old to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if you do have to go, you can go. But if you think of any other stuff you want to say later today or the next day or something, please send me a voice note and I'll clip it in.
Yeah,
or,
go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, or I was going to say, or if you wanted to add anything else about the photo right now, please do.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good on the photo and feel like I've just generally said, what I have to say. But it's been a ton of fun, I think, and I appreciate what you said about my podcast. And I really like what you're doing with yours. The picture as like the central point is kind of like a decoy because it's not really a large part of it.
It's never really about it at all, almost.
In general, I just it's still a nice thing to have, and in general, I think you are pretty different as a host, which I like.
My thing is that I'm not a good host.
No, I think you are a very good host.
Okay, thank you.
But different, and it's cool. And then the production is where you can also separate yourself in that having listened to that episode that you sent me, like, there's so much room for improvement on podcast production where the default is basically to do nothing interesting. And so if you do anything interesting, it's good. I agree. And so I've heard a few interesting things that you've done. And so I think, it's a great podcast. Appreciate you having me on, and happy to, I don't have anything to add for this particular thing, but, happy to do it again in the future.
Thank you very much. I would be down.
Awesome. Yep. Talk to you later.
All right. Take it easy. Bye.